So good morning, y'all. And I just want to say before we ever get started that I still have not put gas in here and I'm rolling on 8 miles right now. So let's just pray I make it to work, which I feel like I'll make it to work. I just need to make it to the gas station during lunch. That's the real problem. And I'm like, should I just stop or I don't know. I don't know how electronic cars work, honestly. I really don't. I just know I'm on 8 miles and I just need to make it to work. If I can make it to work, y'all, then we're good. Now, I don't know what I want to talk about today, but I'm just going to allow the Spirit to use me right now. And we'll pop into that. So I kind of wanted to talk about, this is what I want to talk about. I wanted to talk about when we have to make those hard decisions in life. And I know sometimes that we don't want to, but how can we do it the Christian way, the honest way, and I feel like just the right way in general. Now, y'all, I do want to talk about like lying and I want to talk about integrity. And I want to talk about that as well too. And I think maybe let's talk about that first and then we'll get into that. But y'all, I'm a big believer of like not lying. I believe in honesty, and I believe in honesty when telling somebody how you truly feel or how the situation is going. I feel like always being very like, how can I say this? Both parties need to operate and need to learn how to speak to each other in the most effective way that you possibly can. I feel like a lot of times when we have reasons, there are just reasons that people argue, but I also feel like it may be a communication thing that needs to be fixed or looked at a little bit better when it comes to communicating things to people. And I feel like, I'm so sorry, y'all, if y'all hear all these cars, y'all know I'm driving to work. And I'm just praying that I make it to work with this 80 miles on gas. But I really want to talk about like how, like, just navigating through all of this and how hard it is just to speak about your feelings and talk about your feelings to someone, but doing it in a way that is not hurting it's not hurting anybody, but it's just, if it hurts them, then obviously they need stuff to work on. But also just being in a, like, listening to what somebody is saying, but also using your own judgment as well. Let me tell y'all two things about, like I say, me and God is a two-party contract. I feel like when it comes to relationships, friendships, and everything, these are two-party ways, like agreements. And I definitely do feel that all boundaries should be respected. But when it comes to certain things, I definitely do agree. Now, me, and I have to work on this a little bit, sometimes my mouth is set up the way that I just kind of say whatever it is that I want to say, and it may come off rude, but it's, and in all honesty, I don't try to be rude. I'm just very honest. And people don't like when you point out something on them that could be a flaw, or they don't like you point out honesty. Just people don't. But I feel like a lot of times when that happens, it's just because people need a lot of inner work done. Lord, do I need to get from behind him because he got emergency lights on? I don't know. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people are not receptive to like when somebody says something. But then we gotta realize too, it's a lot of unhealthy people walking around as well and needs to do work. And I just feel like sometimes you have to have those hard conversations and voice this to them and be honest with them, because I have noticed that a lot of people are okay with walking around with a certain level of like misery or being miserable. And I'm like so big on not feeling like that in my life. Because I don't like feeling like that. And also I feel like that messes with my integrity, because when it messes with your integrity, it's like you're not telling the truth, okay? And I feel like truth is heavily linked with your integrity. How believable can you be to people? But you also have to be very honest to have that integrity, okay? I really want to talk about why I don't like lying and how it like affects, because if you realize that when you lie, you're gonna have to have more lies to make sure you do not expose whatever this lie is to somebody else. And to be honest with y'all, how long can somebody keep up with that before it starts affecting them? Like, how long can somebody keep a lie that it start affecting them? And I have seen people struggle that has went 20 years, 30 years now. It's people out there that just clearly don't care, and they will get their karma for that. I definitely feel like God has a place for people who just lie and just cannot be honest. But I feel like there is a level of like, if you know for a fact, like when you, like I said, when you lie and you continuously lie and you just used to lying and not tell the truth, I just feel like that's just very narcissistic, and I definitely feel like that's just not healthy. And if you're expecting to be in a relationship that's healthy, then you shouldn't do that. And like I said, when you lie, you have to cover up those lies with more lies, which creates more lies, which creates more sin, which lessens your integrity. And I just feel like truth is always the best way. Now let's get into conversations and having those hard conversations. Now you have to sit there and have these conversations and be honest about everything. Be honest about how you feel the relationship is going, where you feel that you may be flawed at. And it's not, and I'm not, you don't have to go that deep. But what I'm saying is you also need to make the other person like understand that I realized I chose these decisions because I was feeling like this, or I didn't know that it's like when you do stuff in a certain type of way, when you're pure honest to someone, I feel like the respect should be what they need. It's just the respect. I feel like the respect of coming with the truth is more than anything. Now this is for like mature relationships. I'm not talking about all that narcissistic crazy type of stuff, blah blah blah. No, I'm talking about if you're with someone and you love them, and you know, without it sounding like it's materialistic in a way, but it's stuff that you wholeheartedly feel and believe, and it's something that y'all should talk about, because if that is something, then maybe something you can work out something. But there are situations where you get into things with people and you start seeing them, and I feel like the more you know, I feel like the more that you know yourself, the more you have worked on yourself, the more you have healed and had a relationship with God, it's going to start being more easier for you to point out that people that's not for you than people who is not covered by God. And I'm not trying to say it in that sort of way, but I feel like because when God is instilled with us, he gives us that warning, or he give us those signs, or he displays something. Like, I don't know how to explain what I'm saying. There is discomfort in something when it deals with your choices that you make. Now, I have noticed that when God blesses us with things and things come about, have y'all ever noticed that you don't even realize these things are coming for you? You never know. When a blessing or something happens for you, you don't really know what's going on. Like, I don't know how to explain this, but I'm hoping y'all know what I'm saying. But when God bless you, most of the time you're not even thinking about what it is that God is blessing you with. And so that's the reason why I feel like, okay, so now we're having to make decisions on a relationship, or we having to make decisions for our kids, or we having to make a decision on something. And it's a lot of times, like I say, we haven't prayed or did whatever it is that we need to do in order to really seek what God has for us. Because I have noticed, like, when it comes to God is going to always send people directly to you. If he's not sending you no one directly to you, he's taking you there, or somehow, some sort of way, some like miraculously, like, just happens and you just end up there. And you got to think about it. When stuff is God sent, then God does everything for you. You just have to listen. You just have to keep continuously to grow your relationship with him. When he tells you to go somewhere and to do something, you do just that. When God tells you to release something and let go of something, you do just that, because he has something much bigger for us, right? And that's the reason why I'm talking about this, because I feel like it's a lot of people out there that are in relationships and they're not happy, because it's not that this is not the things that they want, but it doesn't align with the purpose that God has for them. And in order to get in alignment with whatever it is that God has for you, you have to do whatever it is that you have to do with your relationship with God, but also you have to make those hard decisions on whatever that is that you need to do. And I really want to talk more about like a healthy conversation. like a healthy conversation is people talking about how they feel and how this just feels to them, and they're not, you know, like, it's just have a real conversation. Now, if you're dealing with a narcissistic type of person, they're not gonna reason with you, and if that's the case, then you should remove yourself from that. And it's not the easiest thing, but find the best way that works for you. Because if y'all really realize it, I feel like some people feel like they haven't struggled enough, like, and that's what I feel like. Some people feel like they're scared to do something, or like, I don't know how to explain, but some people get scared and they don't know how to do stuff. And I feel like when it comes to God, talk to God. God gives you the plan. Okay, and my thing is, sometimes you have to like be smart and strategic about how you do stuff. But initially, you need to have those conversations, and something needs to be said. And also, I feel like plans need to be made. If this cannot be no quick move, we just have to make plans for that. And it may not seem easy, but one thing I know about God, He's going to provide for you. He's going to provide for you. You need to keep that instilled in your mind. It doesn't matter what happens, if somebody leaves, or somebody gets upset, or you don't know how you're gonna get this paid or get this done. Like, just already know in your mind that God is gonna take care of you. And the reason why I say I feel like people don't get tired of being miserable is because they don't never move around or do anything about it, because they're so scared, or they don't want to do the work or the things that they need to do to actually seek the happiness that they carry inside themselves. But they're having to hide because they can't truly be with themselves in front of somebody that's not in alignment with them. Okay, and I truly feel like that. I don't know like what else to say about that, but that's just like how I feel. And I'm just, and I can say it's hard to do, but like I said, when it comes to lies, that messes with the integrity, and I feel like you don't have any integrity if you lie. And my thing is, when it comes to liars only apologize. I feel now there's a difference between people who genuinely are sorry, and there's a difference between people who just want to tell you sorry because you found out, and they're going to continue to do less over time. If y'all haven't paid attention, those people who really don't care about you start doing less over time. Like, and I have known to see this in relationships. A lot of times I have seen so many like different videos. I've seen different men talk about this, but a man would, like, if you're with the wrong man, that man will start giving less over time, and the little bit that he do give, you'll be grateful for. And I just feel like that's just not fair, and that's not right. And so I just don't want any of you to be put in that situation. And I feel like a lot of times we keep making these decisions on our own and keep saying that, yes, this is mine, this is for me. But did God say that? I remember reading my journal one time before, and in my journal, I realized that the whole time I was in a relationship with somebody, I had no faith in this relationship. I didn't have that faith that there was no God in that relationship. And that's truly the reason why I feel like that it didn't work out, because God was not in a relationship. But also, I feel that this was just two unhealed parties together. And I feel like if God is not in your relationship, there is no relationship. Like, and my thing is, if you want to be in a God-ordained relationship, then you're going to be with a God-ordained person. Because if you're a person that goes to church, you read your Bible, you live your life right each and every day, and you have a certain expectation of the type of man you need to talk to, or you want to talk to, then you're going to wait on God and allow God to send that man to you. That doesn't mean that you don't make preparations for yourself. That doesn't mean you get yourself ready for whatever it is, God. You always have to stay ready, because you don't know when God is going to bless you with something. Even if you're not ready, God is always going to bless you with something. But I do believe he blesses us with something when we do need it. Okay. And I really feel like it's trusting God. But also, y'all have to do the work in order to get whatever it is that you need too. Because my thing is, people think, like, I have heard this so many times. I have seen this so many times. So many people think because they go to church and they get in all these different things that this is the way they're going to meet people. This is the way I'm going to get close to God. This is the way. But it's like, no, like, if you're going to do something, truly do something with your heart, because it's in your heart to do. Not do it because it looks right to do, or do it because this is the only way I can. No, there are many resources, there are many things. You just have to stay, like, I feel like you have to stay in your Bible, you have to stay in your word, you have to stay with God, because like I told you, you're going to pop up at that place. You're going to pop up somewhere, and things just happen, and it unfolds with you, and a miracle has happened for you. And I truly feel like me talking about this was change somebody's life, but also it will cause people to have those important conversations that they need to have. And also they'll realize, like, when it comes to God, what they need to do in order to have God make the decisions where you don't. Because I feel like a lot of us worry about the what and the how, and so much not like more of like, let God do it, not thinking about it. Because if you do whatever I don't know who's calling me, but if you do the work that you're supposed to be doing on yourself, God will send all the things that you need in your life. God knows your heart. And I feel like a lot of people feel that they don't deserve a relationship, they don't deserve this type of man, they don't deserve this type of job, they don't deserve to have this life, or it's just something like that. Like, y'all, that's illusion. Please get that out of your mind. That's not true. We all deserve what we deserve, but are we willing to do our part and be in our relationship with God in order to get these things? Because I feel like the more we keep blocking or putting a distraction in the way, the more we keep putting things in the way of what God really has for us, that's why it seems much further than what it is. But if we were to plug into God for X amount of days, it doesn't matter, X amount of days, and we was to sit here in prayer and talk to God and learn from God for these amount of days, we could learn so much about ourselves, but also so much about God and life. And I really feel like when it comes to God, he supplies everything that we need. And I really think the big idea is to, like I said, you need to stay plugged into God and plugged into your Bible, plug into prayer, because my thing is fighting this spiritual war that is going on now. That is the only way to keep us here, to keep us rounded and well with God. We're not going to wake up every day peaches and cream, but if you know God is with you at every moment in your life, you have no fear, no doubts, or nothing in you. Even when the mind tries to tell you anything, your heart will always be strong, because your mind can be changed instantly by anything you look at, anything you read, anything you listen to. And we know that. But when it comes to our heart and our spirit, that is what we need to really build up. Get it strong. Once that's strong, it's like the mind, and you finally catch whatever it is that your mind does and try to make everything seem like this. It's like, I just don't know how to explain. Once you're exposed to God, God is planted in you, and it's planted in your soul. And it may take time for your physical body to catch up to this. I kind of feel like this. I know this is a weird analogy, but sometimes I do feel like it takes a minute for the body to catch up with something that God has already put on your spirit. And you know, and I don't know why I have to talk about this, but I felt like I needed to talk about this because I feel like we go through these seasons, and I definitely think there are better ways to communicating things in life and with people, and then lies and integrity. Because I feel like if you're with a person that you're supposed to, they shouldn't have no reason to lie to you, because God is pure. We talk to God and we have this relationship with God, and we talk to him, and he knows every bit and piece of us. We talk to him and tell him everything that we possibly can. And I feel like when two people are plugged into God, when they initially meet, it should be the same way. Where do we get in that lying is okay? Y'all, and when you lie, it messes up your integrity, and it messes up the person that loves you, and it breaks that bond. It breaks it. And I also just feel like, also, if God was never the head of your life, that relationship was never destined to make it, because God is supposed to be the center of all of it. We're connected into God. So if God connected us together, I was thinking about this yesterday, into this triangle, those two people, and then this connection to God, because the only way you can really make it is if those two people are connected to God, because you have to have that trust, that honesty, there, and that integrity. And it's like showing up like for that person, showing that God-like person inside yourself each day, each time that you could get, just showing each other that God-like feature, or that soul that's so connected into God, showing how beautiful a person that each of us are. And we choose to share this with a person in our life. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I really hope this helps somebody, y'all. I just had to speak about it because it was on my heart, and I knew I wasn't going to go off on my part 2. So my part 2 is coming up, but I'm going to go ahead and head into work because I've been watching out, and I know my manager will probably be here soon. But I do want to tell y'all that I am working on a course. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to, the course will initially help everyone that gets into my course with their finances, just looking at them, just figuring out what you need to do, how to get some debt paid. And then we're also going to go into how to do digital marketing. And also I'm thinking about putting a fast track for people who already have like a digital product, or they already have stuff in play and they just need a marketing plan. I'm trying to make a quick access to that. So it is in the works. I'm praying to have it by the end of the month. I don't know if I will, but I'm praying. So I am working on my course. I can't wait to have that out. I also want to say that I do have 2 affirmation books below, and then I have my free How Money Works books. All of those books are free. You can download them and you'll be good to go. And I also have a 10-minute call with me, and I also have where you can book your free financial meeting with me. That's 30 minutes. But whenever I make my course, I'm going to incorporate it in there, so you will have to meet with me before you go to the next steps, because I want to help y'all as much as possible as I can. Because when you start making money from my marketing plan, you need to know where to put your money so it can multiply. And so that's the reason why I'm making this course, because I'm going to show you how to do all of that. Okay. Now I want to tell each and every one of you, I love you. I will catch y'all in the next one. I cannot wait for like the next video, because I feel like I'm gonna have some amazing content like I did today. But I'm very excited, y'all. I just have so much that I have to do and I have to say to y'all, and I'm just fired up for the Lord, and I'm just fired up for this. I'm like, I don't know. I just feel God is moving a lot of things in my life, and I feel like a lot of miracles are going to happen for us and for me. But again, I'll catch y'all in the next video, and I love y'all. Peace.